Hello everyone, my name is Heather Autumn and welcome to my channel. Alright, so hopefully you're wearing your green, gold, or orange today because it is St. Patty's Day. Now here in Massachusetts, it's a huge holiday. They have a giant parade and things like that. But of course, I can't be releasing an episode and recording it on the same day. There's just no room for editing. So today I'm going to be showing you something that you can do in your kitchen any time of the year, and that's how to make individual shepherd's pies. It either has a combination of lamb or beef with some vegetables, and then the whole thing is topped off with mashed potatoes. Now the difference between a shepherd's pie and a cottage pie is that a shepherd's pie will use lamb, which is what we're using today. I was able to find some on sale at my local grocery store, so I jumped on that because I rarely use that protein. But you can also use ground beef, and that would be considered a cottage pie. So I love that these are individual because, as you know, I've been watching my diet a little bit. I get to eat something that's seasonal, something that's linked to a holiday, and not feel deprived. So with that, let's start in on this recipe. So because this is already kind of a complicated dish, we're going to be making our mashed potatoes as well as the meat filling. I'm going to cut down the time a little bit by using a packaged pie dough. Now, if you're super ambitious and you like to bake and cook and things like that, then I encourage you, if you have your own pie dough recipe, definitely use that. All right, so first things first, I want to get started on making sure my water is boiling for my potatoes. So put some water on your stove in a big pot and get that boiling. Next, in a big pan, you want to take a 1/4 pound of your lamb and your 1/4 cup of diced onion and get that cooking over medium heat. You want to stir it throughout the process to make sure it's all browned, and that will take you about 6 to 8 minutes. After which point, if you see any liquid fat in the pan, make sure you drain that off. Next up, you're going to stir in your flour, your tomato paste, and your salt and pepper. Cook that for about 1 minute, and then you're going to stir in your broth, your thyme, and your Worcestershire sauce. You have no idea how many times I had to practice that to say that word right. So now you're going to heat the whole mixture to boiling. Once it's boiling, reduce the heat to medium-low and simmer for about 5 minutes until the mixture has thickened. At this point, you're going to remove it from the heat and stir in your frozen peas and carrots. So while your meat mixture is cooking, you want to dice up your potato and get that into the boiling water. And from there, I'd say let it boil anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes, and you'll know when it's done when you stick a fork in one of those and it falls off. Now, everyone has their own way of making mashed potatoes, and I certainly have my unhealthy versions from the South, but because this is already a very flavorful dish, I'm gonna make this simple by just adding some salted butter and some heavy cream. But if you wanna add mayo, like I've been taught, feel free. So at this point, you wanna preheat your oven to 375 degrees. You're going to use that softened pie crust or your own, and you're going to roll that out until it's about 14 inches in diameter. So if you have a cookie cutter or something else that is round, feel free to use that, but you want to cut out a circle that has a 4.5-inch diameter. And you will want to cut out 6 of these. From here, you're going to go and press these into your muffin cups. Then you're going to do what they call blind baking for about 10 minutes. And what that does is it crisps up the pie crust just a little bit, so when you pour in the meat mixture, which is a little bit more wet, it's not going to leave you with a soggy, gross bottom. After that blind baking, you're going to go and divide your meat mixture into 6 parts amongst the cups. So on top of that meat mixture, you want to take your mashed potatoes and you want to put them on top. Now you can make it super fancy by putting it in a frosting bag and doing some sort of design on top. You can also just take a spoon and put a dollop on top. once your mashed potatoes are on the way you'd like, you want to sprinkle that with paprika and allow these to bake in the oven anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. What you're looking for is for those mashed potatoes to get really nice and golden brown. Again, the unhealthy version is if you want to put some cheddar cheese on top of those mashed potatoes, go for it. Now, of course, with this, just like any of my other recipes, if you really like it and you want to see it all written out, please check the description below because I will link you to my blog there. All right, these turned out so good. You can see them there. So I have this one, it's cut in half. You can see the pie crust and then that really good filling in there with the lamb and the peas and carrots, as well as our homemade mashed potatoes. Now I topped them off with just a little bit of cheese. I'm gonna try one now. That is so good. That is prime comfort food material. And honestly, with the exception of like recording this video, that took some time, but for the most part, if I wasn't recording, this wouldn't have taken much time at all. I like how small these are. I almost feel like if you're making a bento box, like I love making bento boxes, these would be perfect to fit in there. And because we blind baked the crust, you can see on the bottom, it's nice and dry and it toasted up so it's not soggy, the filling's not seeping through. So overall, this is a super win. I know that if you're watching this, it's St. Patty's Day right now, but this is good, I think, for any occasion. This is such a great rustic little pie, and you can pair it with other things like Guinness, and I don't know, it makes me happy to look at. So again, if you like this recipe and you want to try it yourself, you can find the link in the description below to my blog where I'll have everything written out. So on this day where we're all a little Irish, I hope you enjoy these wee pies. May the luck of the Irish smile on you for the rest of the week. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next Sunday with a new episode. Bye.